we'll start with the gold chain. 20 inches long, rolled into a ball, 1 inch deep. And it doesn't even see the gold chain. 5 inch long gold chain, stretched out into a line 1 inch deep. Now, not renowned for gold chains or Minelabs, and this is probably one of the worst ones. Fine silver earring, 1 inch deep. Nope. Small Roman bronze, 3 inches. Low conductive cut quarter, 4 inches. Just about. Small pewter button, 4 inches. 6 inches. 7 inches. 8 inches. Not quite there, is it? Coke. Right, we'll go on to the Galean, see if it gets that any better. That dig that. 177 air rifle pellet, 4 inches. Stick the 5 inch one. 8 inch deep thin copper ring. 10 inch deep thin copper ring. Right, that's very low conductors. Right, we'll continue with separation and rejection. So this is the iron cord 2 pence. Doesn't see that. I suppose if I was using the zero discrimination, I'd probably get it. Comes in right down the bottom right hand corner. I haven't got an awful lot of discrimination on this in the first place. But crown bottle top. Like so. 2 coins, low and high conductivity, 8 inches deep, 1 inch apart. The idea being you can see 2 different targets. Nope. Same again, only 3 inches deep. Yep. 20 pence. Ring pull. About the same. Just a bit slow on my old VDI numbers. Low and high conductive coins, 3 inches deep, with an iron staple in the middle. Can't really see any iron coming in on that, but it gets 2 coins, happily enough. Low conductive coins, 5 pence. We'll start at 9 inches. No problem with that. 10 inches. 11 inches. Shouldn't drop off there. Nope. Right, onto the cut quarters. Cut quarter. Try the 5 inch one. 6 inches. 7 inches. Nope, just nip back to the 2-inch one. And the 4-inch. Onto the high conductive coins. We'll start with a Georgian halfpenny, should we say 10 inches? 11 inches. 12 inches. Just about 13 inches. Yep, first detector to get that. 14 inches. That's a bit too far, I think, for it. Very impressive, though. That Georgian halfpenny, 8 inches on edge. And down the line. No problem with that one. Cartwheel pennies. Might as well start at 13 inches, I suppose. No problem with that. 14 inches. Oh, cartwheel penny on edge. 9 inches. No problem with that. Certainly the best detector I've used out of about 50 I've tested on high conductive targets anyway. It doesn't look so great on the very low conductors at the moment, but we shall carry on and see what happens. Right, on to the silver coins now. We've got the Victorian silver threepenny bit, 6 inches. Victorian silver sixpence, 7 inches. Shilling, 8 inches. Edward penny, 6 inches. Diamond threepenny bit, 8 inches. Silver threepenny bit, 8 inches. 9-inch deep sixpence. Just about the only detector I've tried that actually gets it that way. Normally you have to come at it from that way before it'll get it. This just punches straight through. Shilling, 10 inches. Slowing, 12 inches. Half crown, 14 inches. Crown, 1965. Purple nickel, 13 inches. That gets out as well, better than any detector I've tried so far. Didn't really know what to expect, really, trying the Ctx on here, because I've never tried a Ctx on a test bed before. And obviously I've tried the Manticore and the Deus too, and in terms of performance against those at the moment, it's doing very, very well. For an older detector, but it's so bloody heavy. But on high conductive things, it just wipes the floor with everything else. But we'll carry on with the artifact, see what happens now. Small bottle, 10 inches. Teaspoon, 13 inches. Thimble, 12 inches. Large lead weight, 14 inches. That's the best any detector has ever done on that lead weight. Most detectors find it a difficult target. Fibula, 7 inches. Large musket ball, 10 inches. Also on this bottle, 15 inches. 50 inches down, a foot above. There you go. Most detectors are very similar, it's just performance really with them, but you get the odd detector now and again that just does something different, and this seems to fit into that category at the moment. Now we'll go on to the iron, targets and ord. That's your horseshoe at 6 inches. Iron bottle, 6 inches. 20 pence, 8 inches. 3 nails sitting on top of it, also at 8 inches. No problem with that. Got 20 pence, 8 inches, 3 nails, 4 inches above it. No sounds of iron on that. Audio wise, I did. 20 pence, 8 inches, 3 nails, 1 inch below the ground, directly on top. Very difficult one, this one. Knife blade, 2 inches with 2 copper rivets sticking out of it. Obviously, you're going to see the iron straight away from there, as you can see on the screen. Rotate around to see if we can get the 2 rivets sticking out. Yep, get there. Large nail, 6 inches of 20 pence sitting on top of it. Half penny, 6 inches, coke 1 inch, directly above. Now, this is doing something that no other detector has done as well now. I'm going directly over the coke. It's sitting directly on top of the half penny. And it's the only detector I've tried so far that goes straight through the coke and gets the half penny. Normally, you have to go in front of the coke to get the half penny underneath the coke if it is diagonal, which 99.9% of detectors have to do, but this is the first one that's actually done it like that. Pen knife. Horseshoe 2 inches, 20 pence 6 inches. Again, very impressive. Not many detectors do that. 20 pence 2 inches, horseshoe 6 inches. Which is a bit bizarre, really, because if it's the other way around, it should be easy for it. But it gets it, but it gets the other one far easier, but it should be totally the other way around. 6 half pennies stacked on top of each other, 11 inches. 100 mixed coins in a pot, 20 inches deep. Now this is the oddball one. There's 6 half pennies in a row, on edge, 2 inches deep. Again, out of all detectors I've tested ever, this is the only detector that's actually done that. All of them get it the other way. None of them get it this way. Weird. So you can see from that the Ctx 3030 is definitely different. Well, it does things that other detectors don't do, so it might be worth having one in your armoury if you can justify having something of that price range in there, but you can pick them up quite cheaply anyway. I mean, if I sell this, which I might not do now, then it's only be going for about $4.95. I've just tested it with a 17-inch coil, which is an horrible heavy lump. No idea why anybody wants to use one of those, unless it's sort of just sheer ground coverage on the beach or something, but you have to have fair muscles to use one for any length of time. It's just, the detector's heavy enough without pushing a bloody big coil on it like that. Anyway, I found that it didn't give me any advantage over the 11-inch coil. I thought it might just get 1 or 2 targets the 11-inch coil couldn't get, but it does exactly the same, to be perfectly honest. For the purpose of this test, I had sensitivity on 28 on the manual level. I don't use the auto, it just kills it, really. So just as I'm going through the settings I use on it, I'll just wind the sensitivity down so it doesn't do me head in, basically. I'm not going to go through every setting on this, or I'll be here 6 months. So it's a matter of digesting the manual if you should get one of these. Right, how I've got it set up is on relic mode. I've got it on pattern 1, which is just a little bit of discrimination at the bottom, like so. We've got a detect screen here, which allows you to use target trace or target trace on a pinpoint. I just use it target trace on normal detecting, which means you've got a little coloured line and a little coloured dot whizzing all over the screen telling you where the detector thinks the actual target figures in the great scheme of things. Right, into the menu again. This is all sorts of stuff I aren't interested in or won't make any difference, really. It's all personal preference. Wireless, the backlight. I'll leave the backlight on, but otherwise everything else is fairly irrelevant, really. In terms of performance, I mean, it might be relevant to you if you want a detector to work in a certain way. So here we are on the relic mode that I have chosen. I'll just scroll down there now. I'll get onto the Tone ID Pro. Here I can change the profile type, which is easier done on a computer, believe me. Change the pitch, if that bothers me. Play tone, play all. Response, I've got normal. You can have long, smooth, pitch hold. All those are horrible, I think. But some people use the long tone, as in when you go over a target, the actual signal lasts for about 10 minutes. Recovery, fast and deep. The temptation is to just use it on deep where I go detecting, but having done that, I found that if I use it on fast and deep, it makes deep better. I don't know why, no logic to it. So I use it on fast and deep. You got your ground balance menu. I never normally bother ground balancing one of these. Only in extreme circumstances, but you never really get those extreme circumstances in the UK, really. You've got your threshold level. You can go up with that or whatever. I like to hear the threshold. A lot of people don't, but it does make a difference to the actual performance. I normally use the sensitivity on about 26 to 28, depends what I can get away with. Depends where you are, what sort of mineralization on the field, etc. But 26 is normally fairly stable. 28 might just be living on the edge a bit. So normally I would use it on 26. For the purpose of the test, I've been using it on 28 to try and get a little bit more out of it. It was quite stable at that. Things to look out for, mainly the screen. If that looks a little bit dodgy, or it's got a bleed on it or somewhere, or sort of lines going across it, then it's on its way out. But what you're looking for is a nice, clean screen. That's the oval 17-inch coil I was talking about, which will be featured on eBay later today. Another thing is the armrest that just tend to slide up and down and do its own thing a bit, but on the later ones that actually has been cured, but it doesn't bother me, but that's just a thing that could be a deal swinger. Just look as well at the coil lugs. They normally crack from the top to the bottom in a straight line down there, and of course they're expensive to replace. You can of course repair them, but it doesn't do any good on the resale value, really. I mean, by looking at it from another way, of course, if you did find one with broken lug, then you could probably get it a bit cheaper. Also, the rechargeable batteries on the older ones have sort of died to death now. On this particular one I own, it's working off the AA battery pod. The rechargeable one died a year or two ago. There's many ways of setting these things up, so you just got to really do what you think suits you personally. All I've done is to try and get the best out of it for the purpose of the test. Although I would actually use it this way as well. So all the results will be at the end of this video, and you can see how it compares against the other detectors I've tried so far. So summing it up, as we can see, it doesn't like low conductive coins or artifacts as much as it likes high conductive stuff. The high conductive coins, etc., it did remarkably well on it. It's easily the best I've ever tried on the high conductive range. Manticore gets the same score on the high conductive coins, etc., but the CTX just hits the target harder. I'm not using a fantastic amount of discrimination on the test, so some of the odd results I was getting could be down to lack of discrimination, but I was doing enough really to knock the big iron out. You would have to take notice probably more so of the actual tracer running around the screen, so it would be more of a visual thing if you were to pick a lot of the dodgy signals up. It sees the gold chains as iron, so you're never going to get any gold chains or anything unless you dig absolutely everything up and knock all the discrimination off. I used the CTX 3030 for about 2 or 3 years until the Equinox came out. When I swapped over to the Equinox, I found more with the Equinox because it was more capable of finding lower conductive targets. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be yet, but we've got plenty to choose from, so we'll see how it goes. Bye for now.